So most people build one income stream for retirement. A paycheck becomes a pension, or a 401k becomes a monthly withdrawal. One source, one pipe, and if that pipe clogs, you literally feel it immediately. I'm not doing that. I'm building six, and today I'm going to walk you through exactly how I think about each and every single one, what it does, why it's in my portfolio, and how they all work together to generate income, whether I'm, watching the market or doing something else, right? This ain't theory. This is literally what I'm actually investing my money into every week. So here's the context, right? Listen, I'm not retired yet, but I'm planning to, in the future. And one thing I've learned from, watching other people do this wrong is that you don't want to figure out your retirement income after you stopped working, right? You want to build it while you still have time to adjust, right? The problem most people run into is that they're entirely dependent on price appreciation. Buy low, sell high, hope the market cooperates, right? Hope you don't retire in 2008. Look, that's not a plan, that's a wish. What I wanted was an income I could control or at least influence regardless of what the broader market is, actually doing. Not guaranteed income, nothing works like that, but income that comes from, multiple angles so that if one stream slows down, the others are still flowing, right? Now, there are a lot of ways to do this. What I landed on uses a combination of income ETFs, dividend growth, options premium, and interest. 6 distinct streams. Some are passive, some require, a little bit of attention, but together they make up what I call my, my retirement income architecture. So let me walk you through all 6. So before I get into the actual tickers, I want to give you the framework because this matters more than any of the individual holdings, right? I think about my retirement portfolio in three layers, right? Layer 1 is the income, right, floor. This is the money I expect to receive on a regular basis, monthly or quarterly, just for holding positions. ETF distributions, dividends, right? It doesn't require me to literally do anything active, and it just shows up. Layer 2 is the options layer. This is where I generate income on top of what I already own, right? We got our cash secured puts on stocks that I want to own anyway. We got our covered calls on stocks that I'm holding. This requires a little attention, but it's not complicated. Once you understand the mechanics and can, significantly boost the floor, that's the income producing layer. And layer 3 is the backstop. Interest on my collateral, appreciation on positions. I eventually sell them, right? These aren't income, right, that I count on every month, but they're real. And when they show up, they do matter, right? And listen, the goal is no single layer collapses. My income, if, let's say the S&P underperforms, that's what the 6 income streams buy you. Redundancy, stability, right? So let's talk about it. Stream number 1, JEPI. JEPI is JP Morgan's equity income ETF. It holds a portfolio of large cap US stocks and sells covered call options on the S&P 500 through what are called equity linked notes, ELNs, right? The fund passes that options premium to shareholders as monthly distribution. The yield has historically ranged between 6 and 10% depending on the market conditions, okay? Higher volatility tends to mean higher premiums, which means higher distributions, right? Lower volatility, it obviously compresses it a bit. And what I like about JEPI is that it gives me exposure to the equity market with a built-in income overlay. I don't manage the options myself. The fund literally does it. I just collect the distributions from it. The trade-off is this: you give up upside. If the market rips, JEPI won't keep pace, with a straight SPY. That's the cost of the income, right? And I'm going with that. Stream number 2, JEPQ. Same structure as JEPI, but JEPQ uses the NASDAQ 100 as its underlying exposure instead of the S&P 500. So you're getting large cap tech. Think Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia with a covered call overlay selling against QQQ, right? Because the NASDAQ is historically more volatile than the S&P, JEPQ tends to produce way higher distributions than JEPI. It also carries more downside risk in a sell-off, right? The way I use it, JEPI and JEPQ together give me income from 2 different market segments. If tech underperforms, my JEPI side isn't as affected. If the large cap value lags, JEPQ picks up some slack. Different buckets, similar mechanics. Stream number 3, SCHD, right? SCHD is different animal, right? This isn't a covered call fund. This is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. It holds companies with consistent dividend growth histories. quality businesses that have been paying and increasing dividends for years and years and years. The yield is lower than a JEPI or a JEPQ, typically in that 3 to 4% range, but SCHD also appreciates in value over time in a way that covered call ETFs generally can't, right? So it's giving me both income and growth potential, which matters for the long game. I think of SCHD as the slow and steady piece. It's not exciting, but 20 years of dividend growth compounding quietly in your portfolio, in my opinion, is a very powerful thing. Stream number 4, we got our cash secured puts on individual stocks, right? This is where the active work starts to come in a little bit. And this is the core of what I teach at Option Seller School. A cash secured put means I set aside cash to potentially buy a stock at a price that I've already wanted, to buy anyway. In exchange for that commitment though, basically I collect the premium up front. If the stock stays above my strike price, I keep the premium and I do it again, right? If it drops to my strike, I buy the stock at the price that I already said I was fine owning it, right? I do this on individual stocks I want to own anyway, right? Think of it like being a landlord who only buys a property at a discount. I name my price. If the market brings it to me, great. If not, I still get paid. The income stream depends on the volatility, time to expiration, and honestly how aggressive I want to be on my strikes, but it's real, it's reoccurring income on cash that I'd otherwise be sitting on. Stream number 5, we've got our covered calls on individual stock positions. So once I own a stock, whether from assignment on a cash secured put or from just directly buying 100 shares, I can layer covered calls on top of it. A covered call means I agree to sell my shares at a higher price. The buyer pays me premium for that agreement. If the stock doesn't reach my strike by expiration, I keep the shares and I keep the premium. If it does, I sell the stock at a profit and I start it all over. Together, puts and calls from what's commonly called the wheel strategy, it's a systematic way to generate income on these individual positions, right? Some months it produces a lot, some months less, but the framework stays consistent. Stream number 6, interest on collateral and appreciation. This one is simple, but people overlook it. Look, when I sell a cash secured put, I have to hold cash as collateral, right? It backs up my obligation to buy the stock if I'm assigned. That cash is sitting in my brokerage account. At current interest rate, most brokerages are paying, something meaningful on that cash, on let's say 4% annualized, in a lot of cases. And it's not a headline, but it's real income on money that I was holding anyway, right? The appreciation piece, right, is when I eventually sell positions at a gain. Not every month, not guaranteed, but over time, quality stocks tend to move up. When I trim or exit a position profitably, that capital I can now redeploy into the other 5 income streams. So here's the big takeaway. None of these 6 streams is a magic solution, right? JEPI, won't keep up with SPY in a bull market. SCHD won't spike. Premiums on puts and calls, they vary widely with volatility. Interest rates, they obviously change. No single stream is reliable enough to stake everything on let's say retirement on. But that's exactly why I'm not staking everything on any one of them. What I'm building is a system, a strategy where multiple income streams, they overlap with each other. When one is compressed, say, low volatility is crushing premiums, dividends are still arriving. When the market is choppy, right, I'm cautious. I'm way more cautious about running puts aggressively. The covered calls on my existing positions are still generating premium. When distributions dip down, right, in a market, my interest income hasn't changed at all. Look, the goal, at least for me, isn't to maximize any of these streams. The goal is to minimize the months where all of the streams are quiet all at the same time. There's also a psychological benefit that I think people really start to underestimate, right? When your retirement income isn't tied entirely to the price performance, when you're not checking your portfolio, every single morning, all day long, praying that the market is up, you make way better decisions, calmer decisions. You stop panic selling because you're not desperate for the gains, right? Income-oriented portfolios, they tend to behave better in the hands of real people, right? Because they've removed some of that anxiety that we feel. So here's how I personally think about this. Look, I'm not trying to outperform the S&P 500, right? That's not my goal. The goal is to generate consistent, diversified income that I don't have to stress about. right? Income that works in good markets and it doesn't completely disappear in bad ones. I also think about what each stream asks of me, right? JEPI, JEPQ, SCHD are essentially passive. I check in, but I'm not necessarily trading. The options work, puts and calls on individual stocks, obviously requires more of my attention, maybe a couple hours a week, right? That's a trade-off that I'm comfortable with, especially during retirement. It keeps me engaged without, creating a full-time job. And the interest, that's just a feature of holding cash, right? No extra work required there, right? I don't think, this is the only way to build retirement income, but it's the way that makes sense for how I personally think in my lifestyle. Systematic, diversified, no leverage, no gambling, no margin. So that's the 6, JEPI, JEPQ, SCHD for the income floor. We got our cash secured puts and our covered calls for the options layer and premiums, interest and appreciation sales as the backstop. And I'd be curious, are any of you already using some of these? Or is this a new framework for you? And here's the other question. What is your biggest concern about building income in retirement, right? Drop in the comments down below. I will read every single one. And if this was useful, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and that like button. I put content out like this every single day. Practical education for someone who's actually building, this portfolio alongside you. And if you're interested in taking this a little bit further, click the first link in the description of today's video. That's our Ark Options workshop. It's about 90 minutes of training where I go through the entire Ark Options strategy and the entire framework. And at the end, I give you some free bonuses as well, my 2 premium calculators, as well as my full trade log template. You'll find that link to register in the link in the description.